Hi everyone, happy Wednesday. It's Lynn from DevineCentral. I am here with your Wednesday weekly tarot mailbag reading. I received a really nice, kind note from a subscriber, and in it she had a question that I thought would be appropriate for today's reading. So before I get into that, I'm going to show you the deck that I'm going to use today. It's something that I got new for Christmas, and it's really an interesting deck. Can you see it there? It's called Darkwood Tarot, and it's from Sasha Graham. And it seemed a little weird to me. The pictures just seemed kind of odd until I started reading with it, and then it was like, wow, you know what? This thing reads really well. So you just never know, you just can't judge a book by its cover. So the question today from this person, my question is, I work in healthcare and the past 2 years have been very stressful. I love what I do, but the toxic environment is wearing me down. I'm thinking of leaving, but I will make less money and have less vacation time. Even if I transfer to a different department, the culture is the same. I'm only 10 years from retirement. Should I stay or should I try another path? That was the question. All right, so I can get rid of that. Okay, so let me explain what happened. I already recorded this entire reading, only to find out when I rendered it that I had no sound. No audio. I turned it off for some reason. So I'm just going to start where I left off, because I don't like pulling new cards. I like the original cards. To me, whatever cards are pulled, those are the ones that were meant to be. So we're just going to start from right here. Okay. All right. So I like doing either or readings. This card is going to be the summary or the underlining situation or foundation of the reading. We're going to have what if she stays where she is, what if she leaves and tries something different, and then maybe and the last word from Spirit. So that's my reading. Now, I will say that she did send me her date of birth. She is living in a 2 lifetime, a number 2 out of 9 cycles of lifetimes. She's in a 2. 2s are about choices. 2s are about having to pick the right paths. Sometimes when we don't get it right the first time, we're set back to try it again. And so maybe this time it's time to try it again for her. This year happens to be her number 3 in her cycle. 3s are about expansion. They're about stepping out, putting yourself out there, taking a risk, getting outside your comfort zone, and having a good time while you're at it. So this is a year to be social. So hopefully all that will bode well for her with this current year that we're in. 2022 is a 6 in the cycle of 9. It's 2 plus O plus 2 plus 2, right, equals 6. And this is a year of trying to find balance in our lives. And I think it's kind of the calm after the storm. So we've weathered the last couple of years. Not only has she weathered them, but so have we all. And so it would be nice if 2022 is a year of balance, trying to find some balance in all the craziness going on. Again, boding well for her situation. So W, here we go. You ready? Okay. First card up is the Page of Pentacles. Now, the pages are about news. They're about taking new directions. This particular page is the bottom of the rung of the court system for the Pentacles. And so for that reason, it's kind of like starting from scratch or starting at the bottom, or not starting where you are. It's like there's so much more to learn and so much more to do. But this is about finding your place and growing from wherever that place is. But it's also, as you can see, she's peering into that pentacle. She's looking at the financial end of it. So it's not starting at the top of the financial ladder, that's certainly for sure. But I think that the underlying connotation here for me, what I'm feeling is that with all the other stressors and things going on, I think, W, that it's that the money is the underlying factor that's keeping you where you are. Okay. I think there are fixes for other things, but it's kind of hard to fix the money. And depending on what part of healthcare you're in, you could very well be unionized, and there you go. It's like you can't just negotiate what you want when you want. All right, so if you decide to stay on the job, let's take a look at this aspect. First, we have the Eight of Wands. Okay, so whether you're in emergency medicine, which would be very prominent for this card, or any other type of if you're in a big institution. The thing about medicine is it's always changing. Different patients, different issues with those patients, different diseases, and different medications, and all the changes in the regulations, and there's just so much going on. It's in constant flux. It's not a real grounded profession, but it's one that you chose. And so you must have chosen it for a reason. You must have liked the variety of life with this chosen profession. And if you stay, that's not going to change. It's going to continue on. But you can look at it you can look at the glass half empty or look at it half full, right? If this is the lifestyle you chose, like I said, you chose it for a reason, and you need to figure out why, if you're going to even stay in the profession at all. Because whatever is happening today, whatever all the stressors are that are today, it could be that you really do enjoy the profession, which I think you said you did. It was just the people or the situation. So try to figure out exactly what it is that's causing you stress, so you can either eliminate it or fix it, or decide that it's just no longer for you. And before I hit this one, I can say that if you stay on the job, you're going to be tested and retested. The Seven of Swords, to me, all sevens are about a retest. The fives are about conflict and challenges in our life. And then we get the sixes, which is about harmony restored and having a little balance and having a little peace before we get retested again. And so you can see in this picture, you've got eyes peering out of the tree. Can you see that? And you've kind of got the big bad wolf in the background. She's got her arms wrapped around all of her swords. This card is about, and to me, the symbology of wrapping her arms around the swords. These are all the things that she finds of value, and she's protecting them. Okay, she's protecting what's valuable to her. She doesn't want it taken away. She doesn't want it stolen. And that could be something like laying in bed at 3 o'clock in the morning and worrying and thinking about your job. That's allowing your job to steal from you this precious time that's yours. So what is she protecting in this card? She's protecting her time. She's protecting her compassion. She's protecting, right now she's protecting her money and her vacation time. But you will always be doing that on this job. And there's nothing wrong with protecting what's yours. It's called drawing a line in the sand and not letting your job step over that line. And that is as much mental as it is, practical and realistic in life, tangible. Okay. So only you can draw the line and decide what you're going to allow to keep you ungrounded and off balance. And if you can't find a way, then this is the wrong job. This is just no longer for you. Now, the Hanged Man, this is about realistic expectations. And, you're in a situation, you feel like you can't accept what the results are for you right now. But the truth is, you are where you are, and it's not going to change. So if you can't change your circumstances, then you're going to have to change how you look at it. You're going to have to change how you live with it. And that's only something that you can do. So my suggestion here is try to figure out exactly what's causing the stress. So if it's the people, you say you're not going to leave the stress by leaving the department. Well, if it's the people, if it really does boil down to, I love the job, I can't stand the people I'm working for, a new department might just solve the issue. But you don't know until you try, right? Okay. So if you move to the other side, there's a concern about money. And it's interesting, can you see, we have a Knight of Pentacles here. And this is about movement. It's about taking action for your situation. It's about It's about updating your resume and putting it out there. I mean, you can't possibly know if there's something better or not financially for you, or if you can negotiate, your package to include good vacation time if you don't get out there and try. And you're not going to lose this job just by putting your resume out there and looking elsewhere. But it may lead you to something much better. And I think that because it's over on this side, I think it will. I think if you put it out there, it will come. And it's interesting to me because these two cards are facing each other. And it's a money thing. I think it's a money situation. And I think that you have a really good shot at getting, if you're not getting, you might not get as much money, but I think that if you take a look at your financial situation and you manage it, I think that the lesser money would come with less stress. You might be really happy. I see if you take this plunge and move into a different direction, I actually see you staying in the profession. I just see you looking at a different angle of it. So, for example, if you are in a large institution, let's say at a hospital, you might be going down to a much smaller specialized clinic. The Hierophant is a 5, and it's to me, it's about conforming. It's about it's about a small group of people, managing a small group of people. And so I think that this, in a situation, there's a good chance you could end up in this much smaller environment. Now, the pressure on you to perform, to bring your expertise and experience and your dedication and your reliability is going to be even more important in this job, because there's going to be fewer people to spread it out. But I think that you might like that environment better. So I'm just saying, if you leave, I think that what you would end up leaving for would be a much smaller environment where you felt like you mattered more. Final card in this run is the card of Judgment. And, it's really interesting. If you look at this picture, it kind of reminds me of Titanic. Remember where she was standing on the bow of the ship and he was holding her in place, and she was like, the whole world's in front of me. The wind was in her face and the whole world's in front of her. And I think it's about a calling. And, in the first reading, I dug out a card from my Anna Kay deck because I wanted... To me, this card didn't show what I was trying to convey, which is, it's like you're being called to something else, being called to something different that might end up being what you always really wanted, or maybe the one place where you always really needed to be, even if you didn't know it. And so you have this wonderful opportunity to actually... maybe it's something more important than you ever dreamed that it would be. So that's going to trump the money. That's going to trump the vacation. I mean, this could be a job where you didn't care about the vacation. You're going to love going to work every day. Right now, that vacation time seems quite important. So the last card that I pulled up for you was any advice from Spirit. And we got the Two of Wands. Now, in this card, you can see that she's holding, in a standard Two of Wands Rider Waite card, he's holding a globe in his hand, holding the world in his hands. And in this picture, it's kind of funny because she's holding a crystal ball, right? Looking into the crystal ball. And you can see that the energy, the wands on either side of her they're solid. They are planted solid. So whichever direction she goes here, she will have the energy, the fire to continue on and persevere no matter which direction that she goes. But it's, if you look at her peering into this crystal ball, it's looking at the bigger picture. It's looking at, at the whole landscape and all the pieces of the puzzle and trying to see which direction to go. You're definitely it says that you are definitely at a crossroads. And whatever you choose, you see the fire on the end of these? You're going to have the fire in the belly to persevere no matter which direction you take. But only you can choose. But you are at a point where you need to make a choice. And I love this deck so much. This is my Anna Kay deck. I hope I'm going on a limb here. I'm going to see if I can find that card. No, Two of Pentacles. Oh, here we go. Look at this, right on top. Okay, so here's the Two of Wands in a different deck. And you can see that, I mean, I think that this, to me, this is how I see you feeling right now. And you just need, but the point is, if you just pick a path, even if it's not the right path, you can always go down a different path. My concern for you, okay, my biggest concern for you right now is you're saying, I only have 10 years to retirement. If the average American female dies between 75 and 83, and you are 10 years from retirement, let's say you're 55 years old, that is half of the rest of your life. That is not only 10 years. I can't imagine being unhappy for the next 10 years. So something's got to give. And you have to look at it you have to be realistic. You have to look at it from a realistic point of view. And you have to make a decision here. You have to, and I think that you will first need to figure out exactly what it is that's stressing you out, because I don't think that just money alone is going to make you happy. All right. So that's the reading. I wish you great luck, and I hope that it works out, and please come back and tell me what you ended up deciding. I will be back next Wednesday with another reading. Please feel free to send them to me. I love getting them, and I love putting them out here. Also, if you would like a reading from me, please look down below. I will leave the information. I am quite reasonable. And I also, if you are an aspiring tarot reader, I do practice sessions that you can find on my Etsy shop, which I will also provide. Anyway, have a great rest of the week, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Bye.